I'm super excited for a fun session today, and we have Maeher from Little Sleepies on board. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Excited to have you. So, I've been following your journey, and I know you've really gone from a lot of baby kid brands. So, Bobby, now Little Sleepies. Tell us a little bit more about how you landed in this space and your career journey.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have kids myself yet, but it's honestly an industry that I never can imagine myself being in any other industry now. But I've always just really loved kids. But I would say my main story in getting to Bobby first was I had a friend who had her baby when we were really young and she had a really hard time breastfeeding. And we were young, we were 20, and she was very healthy. She's a coach and nutritionist and stuff now, but she had a really hard time breastfeeding and being young and healthy. And it was just so crazy. We used to go to store after store looking for a healthy formula and it just wasn't there. And so when it came for me looking for my new job and I came across Bobby, I was just like, this makes so much sense and it feels very personal. And so I got into the baby industry and I never left. I love it.
Yeah, and we love Little Sleepy, so tell us how you got that, the job that every single person probably wants.
Yeah, no, I love my job. I know how lucky I am. I was at Bobby for about 3 years, and then I started my own marketing consulting company. I was working with a range of brands from, skincare to regular CPG brands to still, of course, parenting. I worked with brands that focused more on, the femtech side of things, brands like Tush Baby, brands like Mother Science, so more skincare focused. So a range of brands, and then kind of decided, okay, I think it's time for me to go back to in-house and full time. And so one of the recruiters actually found me through my work and reached out. And so once I had those first initial conversations with their team, I feel like you get that vibe very quickly. It's either it's a match or it's not. And I think on both ends, it very much felt like the synergy was there. So it was just a really, really natural fit. So they found me, but it was a blessing.
Yep, yep, and I guess, I go way back into the whole world of creators and influencers before they were even called that, and I follow along from when it wasn't even called influencers or creators, it was mommy bloggers, and they kind of started this whole, ecosystem of influence, and one of the
Yeah.
things that I find so interesting is, how does someone, you know a couple things, but how does someone stand out when there's so many parenting creators? How do you identify someone who's better as a creator versus, not someone who's a fit for you?
Yeah. I mean, it starts with what brand you're looking for a creator for, and then also down to the campaign. Are you looking for evergreen? Are you looking for a mission based campaign, a conversion campaign? It's really going to depend on the goal and who the brand really is. But I think nowadays there are so many creators out there, which is wonderful that people are capitalizing more on the phones that we have in our hand and the accessibility of becoming a creator. But we really want to see someone whose community is really engaged. Like your content might be really, really great, but if your community is not engaged, there's hardly any comments on your posts, your conversions aren't necessarily there. We might choose someone who has a really active community in their comments asking, where did you get this? Or saying, I totally relate to this topic that you're sharing. The sleepless nights, I feel like, are a big one I see a lot in the parenting space is like people, especially being with little sleepies, is that's a great avenue for us is like the sleepless nights and what those night feedings look like while you're wearing your little sleepies. And you see all the other parents in the comments being like, I so get this. Or like, I'm literally watching this while I'm doing a miserable night feed because I'm so tired. So I definitely think what makes you stand out is your community and that engaged community. It's not that easy.
It's not that easy. And it's also not that easy finding those people. But I will go
Yeah.
back to, wasn't the brand itself launched because your founder's child had tactile, like sensory issues? And so the pajamas are. And so
Yeah.
when my son was a baby, we couldn't figure out why he wasn't sleeping and he had, some kind of allergy. And so it could
Yeah.
tactile. The pajamas could actually be the solution.
Yeah, that's exactly why Meredith started the brand. And I think it's been so successful because it's something that was a problem that she solved and a problem that she experienced herself and then decided to make a whole company out of it. And
Wild.
reached so many other people and parents that were having babies with the same issues.
So I guess my big next question is like you have been tasked with creating a community. Like your community's booming. Like I see it. I'm in the
Yeah.
community. Everyone's commenting, but like how do you go back now that you have that and like what are the surprises in terms of starting an influencer program from scratch? How do you even map that out and have there been any crazy surprises?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's truly insane and in the best way how loyal, like the fandom for this brand is nothing like I've ever seen, truly. So going in and starting this influencer channel from the ground up for a brand that's already been so successful as a whole was really fun. I think the most surprising thing for me and continues to be is just like the loyalty that people have to this brand. And the amount of creators that would love to work for us just in exchange for product. It's amazing. And everybody's really enjoyable to work with. They like genuinely are fans of the brand, what we're doing, like what we create. And it's just been so, so well received. I've worked and launched so many of these product exchange campaigns, and it's not always easy getting people to work for product exchange, even the smaller creators, unless it's like an essential good, like baby formula. But with Little Sleepies, it's just like everybody wants to. Like the demand is there more than rarely have to do outreach. There's just so much demand for the
People
partnerships.
probably don't even yeah. You
Yeah.
don't even have to pay for influence because everyone wants to do it.
Yeah. It's really, really amazing and great for
Do
us.
you ever get yeah, do you ever get a situation where A, you can't even fulfill the demand of creators, or B, you upset a creator that wasn't chosen? Like, do you ever have that happen?
Think so because we really try to make our community a priority in whatever way that looks like, even if they have a small following or if they have no following. We have a lot of early access perks for our VIP community. We have things like our affiliate program and other kinds of things that we
Right.
direct creators to if they're not necessarily a fit for that campaign. But we really try to prioritize everybody and working with everybody in some capacity or allowing them to be
Hold on, it's
involved in the
breaking
brand
up.
in some capacity.
Do you ever feel
No,
like
you're
you can't
okay.
keep up with the demand or yeah,
Yeah. So I think
so
what's beautiful about what we've built is we do offer everybody something at any level, whether you have a following, a very small following, or none at all. Like our VIP Facebook group, we offer early access, we offer sneak peeks, fun things like that, that really is what they enjoy about being in our VIP community. And truly, the way that they are all a community within themselves, but all just connected through a brand is amazing. But aside from like, if you're not necessarily a fit for our product exchange or whatever campaign right now, we'll direct you to our affiliate program or some other perk. We try to really make sure that regardless of how many followers you have or who you are, you feel involved and like you're part of this community because truly our community is like what makes us successful.
and I know that you are kind of like a master at like not necessarily finding the obvious creator, like almost like the accidental creator. What does that look like for you? Like, how do you find like someone who's not so obvious that all of a sudden, and I'll give you an example. We just saw Sanofi, and I think this was the most brilliant thing, like the allergy brand Allegra, and they
Yeah.
found female creators whose name was Allegra. It's not like saying Susan, it's like
Uh,
Allegra. Who has that name? And I thought it was just brilliant. So, yeah. And so they did a campaign. It wasn't many, it was 4, but, like, I just was like, "Wow, that is just clever." So, are there things like that where you're saying, like, "I found the accidental person?"
Yeah, 1,000%. I think a great example of that, like an out of box idea, which I love, especially in the parenting space, it can get very like stale after a while, the same like content. But there's a creator, I'm blanking on her name, but she creates these like Beverly Hills mom satire videos that are just like really funny. And I think really relatable in a way that it's just so good. It really lands. And she doesn't have kids, I don't believe, but she's someone that I'm like, I really want to work with because I think that would unlock a whole new audience. It's a very different approach to creator marketing than we've done. Don't get me wrong, like I love the parent creators. I love that they are again capitalizing on the accessibility and posting about their everyday lives and letting us in. But I love to find someone that's doing something a little bit different. Like if you are filming yourself during those really brutal days and nights, like you're being so raw and honest, it lands so well.
So,
And like, go ahead, sorry.
yeah, I mean, I have an intern who asked to come work with us for the summer, And, even my son, he's like, "Let's do a day in the life of you." And I'm like, "Who cares about a day in my life?"
Yeah.
And so and he's trying to film me. I'm like, "People literally pretend that they're waking up in their bed." I'm like, "Just do a day in my life. I eat potato chips for lunch and I
Yeah.
eat burgers and like my hair's in a bun." Like,
Yeah.
I think when you flip it or make it funny or do something different, I haven't done it, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
we don't need more of the same. We need the real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the spinoff of girl dinner, but like mom dinner, and you're
Right.
eating like the crusts of the sandwich and the like leftover of your dino nuggets. Like that's fun.
Well, that's super interesting. I wanna ask you a little bit more about this omni-channel, because when I started,
Yeah.
it was like, "Okay, we're using influencers for social." And I never agreed with that. I'm like, "These influencers could be everywhere. They could reduce costs." Everyone's like, "What's the ROI on the sale?" It's not just the sale, it's like the amount of money you could be saving by leveraging the influencer content for, ad units or email units, or like, we've had people use them for billboards.
Mhm.
So, like, how do you
Totally.
see whole omni-channel? Do you think people are shifting toward using influencers and stretching out how you can leverage influencers, not just for their content, but for their voices?
Yeah, 100%. I think brands are really starting to understand that influencers are more than just one channel. And that's what I personally love about a product exchange campaign is working with people that are in your community on these campaigns that have full usage rights built into them. And they're very obviously stated, we're not trying to take advantage of creators. We just want
Right.
them to create great content and they have some sort of following that they're posting to, but then we can turn around and have this entire content library that every channel owner should have access to. And that content should be living on our organic social, our website, in our
Mm.
reviews or seen in the wild kind of sections, in our paid ads on Meta, on TikTok, in our email marketing as like highlights of the week or whatever it is. That content should serve so much more than just the influencers channel. It really needs to be like a content engine. It's no longer just paying for a post or sponsoring a post. It's paying
100%.
for an entire piece of content to play for the entire business.
But the problem is that then, even if you have those rights, what we see is so many brands, this team doesn't talk to this team, or this team has an
Yeah.
agency. And so no one even knows that it exists until
Yeah.
17 months later.
I personally am very OCD and just a very organized, meticulous person. So everything has a to-do list, everything has a sheet. But it's very clear as to like what is the usage, who is
Article.
the creator. Yes. So I have just like I like to have some sort of like running library or sheet that has the creator's name and a link to their profile, a link to the actual post, a link to where the actual file lives with no text overlays. It has expiration if it expires. And everybody, again, like your paid team should have access to this and be reminded. Your organic social team should have access to this and be reminded. Everybody needs to be like
Plus, I
continuously
think
reminded this is here.
it's the consumer journey becomes more cohesive, but also you could save a lot of costs. Like if you say, "Oh, we don't have ads," and you start buying, or creating, you're wasting time, you're spending money for every single touch point where you need that
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah. I've run UGC programs. I work primarily with startups in the past. Little Sleepies has, of course, been around a little bit longer. But I've worked with a lot of startups. And when we're doing a lot with very little money, it's so important for these product exchange campaigns to function as a UGC engine as well, because that's what's going to fulfill all of our paid ad needs. Yes, we can create content in house. And yes, we can run UGC campaigns on one of the millions of platforms out there. But if we can just send some product and get that influencer post and it also fulfills our UGC needs, great. And that starts with when you're creating these briefs for creators, making sure you're connecting with the teams before. So if the UGC team or the paid team says, hey, we always need to make sure the product is within the first 3 seconds, we need to make sure this hook is used or whatever, gives us an option of 5 hooks for all these creators to use, then we know that content's going to work for them. It's not just like, hey, this worked for their channel, here you go. From start to finish, we're making sure each content serves a purpose and fulfills the needs for every channel.
Yeah, and I applaud you for that because so many people are not doing it. They're starting
Yeah.
to, but
Yeah.
I think it goes into like the next thing that I want to discuss. I know that Little Sleepies does a lot of gifting programs and the box programs. Do you think there's benefits of the boxes or sending, or do not, I don't know if you've had exposure to that, but the surprise Like, does it benefit to have, like, that bespoke kit sent out to influencers? And again, we see how it stretches beyond the influencers, but just curious if you have any insight to that.
Yeah, I personally love a PR box and a no strings gifting like initiative. I think it's really important and it's something that we definitely do. Also, if your product is good, the organic posts will follow. With these creators, whether they're big or a little bit smaller, I like to gift a range of like from like the millions to like maybe even 50K. Because when they truly, like, love something, they will recommend it to their audience organically, regardless of what kind of packaging it came in. So, I personally really believe in the power of no strings gifting. I also think we don't currently do this, but you can include incentives like a custom promo code or things like that for them to want even more to share to their audience. So yeah, I personally love it and I've worked with like designing these really fun PR boxes. I do think it's important for it to be an experience. I love that brands are really making these like really elaborate PR deliveries now. They're not even boxes. They're having like bellboys come to your house and with like a coffee cart. Like I've just seen some really insane ones, which are so good. Like everybody that gets that delivery is posting about it and probably like 5 or 6 story slides. This isn't just a one and done. So it's definitely an investment, but for the most part, it should pay off.
It's not
It's
for
not for
everyone.
everyone.
It's
Yeah.
expensive. And like what you
It's
said,
so
if you're a
expensive.
startup, you could just put a package and write a handwritten no.
Yeah, and I think what's great about our brand and, like, the way we gift is that we have so many products, and the sizing is obviously different for every single person and every single little one, so we actually have a communication, "Oh, like, what kind of products would you like from our site? What are your sizing?" Things like that, so we're not just sending our newest product, it's just, like, they actually get to choose to an extent of, like, what they're receiving, so we make sure that they really like it, and then that even more is in hopes that they will post.
So tell us, thinking about your whole collection, and we're heading up for fall, and that's obviously back to school and a big season. And August is the busiest time of year. I don't know if anyone knows this for new baby births. What's in store for the fall and for the future?
We're so excited. I can't spill too much, but I will say now that I have joined the team and really come in to expand our influencer and our events and things like that, I'm really excited to do more community events, really elevate our gifting, elevate and amplify all of our partnerships. I'm working on some really exciting partnerships that I'm excited to share with everybody. I think being really selective, but it's again essentially coming into a blank slate and I've had a lot of freedom to play around with it. So I am having so much fun. I think there's a lot more coming for people in our community as well as for influencer partners. So there will definitely be a lot. We're ramping up to our busy season as well.
Yeah. So if you ever want to brainstorm, I love it. So you could call me and I'm happy to brainstorm with you on
Oh,
anything that
it's
you want because it's such a cute brand. Great. I'm going to ask my final question. You could take it or leave it, but name an influencer you love to follow, but hate to admit that you do.
I don't know that I have one or any that I don't like that I follow, but I personally have been like obsessed and like going down the rabbit hole with creators that are building something behind the scenes and show their life. Like any founder, anyone that's like
Love
working
it.
on a project that they're going to launch. A few that I love is like Jess Hunt. She's Refi Beauty. Kristen Beck, Shay Mitchell, such a good one. Granted, she's already a celebrity, we know this, but I love how much they utilize her for the brand, and there's just so much personality around it. So I would definitely say just like anyone that's like showing their journey. I find it so fascinating.
Oh, business journey. I love. I could sit there
Business
and watch.
journey. Yes.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yes.
That's what I
Like
see.
I want to
And
see the
so,
designs.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to see everything.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure. We will be watching and rooting for you from afar. And for anyone who wants to find you, how do they find you?
I am on LinkedIn. Oh, you can find me there. Of
Awesome. Thank you so much.
course. Thank you.